Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book fiends and friends alike. Welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your horror host for today. Yeah. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Well, this time, this is kind of a mashup. We're going to look at Cursed Comics Cavalcade #1, a one-shot from DC Comics in 2018. It's an 80-page special, giant special, okay? And it is a horror anthology in which heroes meet horror. And it was a Halloween special for 2018. Cover dated December, so it would have come out in probably September or October. And this features 10 stories featuring 10 heroes. Actually, it's more than 10 heroes because at least one of them's got two heroes in it. In horror settings. It's made by a variety of writers and artists, and I'm not even going to try to tell you who they are. And it's edited by Alex Anthony and Dave Walgoss? Oh, some names I can't pronounce. And people I've never heard of. Of course, most of the creators involved here are people I've never heard of because they're too contemporary. Okay, and of course now we're into October, the spooky month of October. Spooktober, if you will. So we're going to have a lot more spooky stuff leading up to Halloween. Okay, and this, one thing I like in this, and a lot of comics, I've seen comics in more recent years, especially horror comics, do this lately, is the cover design is based on the EC cover design, primarily of the EC horror comics, and that's what the whole thing is intended to be like a parody of, on as far as the cover is concerned. Of course, you have featuring just a few of them: Swamp Thing, Guy Gardner of the Green Lantern Corps, and Zatanna, and of course Batman and her. This great cover illustration of Batman being attacked by the zombie corpses of his own family. That has nothing to do with anything in this in the book, but it is fun, and this and the whole thing is fun. Now, one thing I would have liked to have seen them do, it should have been an obvious being a horror-oriented book. They should have used at least one of the several horror hosts that DC Comics has to host this book. They have no horror host. That's dumb. They should have done. But it's a fun book. And it is, overall, it's better written and better drawn than the other more recent horror comics, you know, like such as what do you call it? The reboot of Boris Karloff and the EC comics, and even that one I did the other day was Tales of the Bizarre. They're by and large better, definitely better written, and largely better drawn than those. Say something here. Inside cover tells us, gives us a list of the stories. They should have. This is where they could have had. Now it's 80 pages. 80 pages of story. It would not have hindered if they had slipped 1 or 2 pages out of the story and used for an introduction and a epilogue with one or more of the horror hosts. That would have been nice. Our first story is Swamp Thing. I'm not going to go in detail into this because I'm going to be doing some Swamp Thing, and but there's this lady, and it's all in a dream, and Swamp Thing is here, and it looks like Swamp Thing is attacking her. Really bizarre art here. It works well for the nightmarish stuff that's going on, and it turns out that where it looks like Swampy is harming these people, what he's actually doing is curing this woman of a disease that she has been accidentally created, and she's got and is about to would have if it had gotten out and she had spread it, would have decimated the human population. So that was called The Spread. Here we go. This is one I like, and this is a story. It says Gotham Woods Camp. So this is a riff on slasher movies. So it's more slasher than straight up horror. This would have been, I think this story would have been good and would have been better had it been a full issue story in one of the Batman titles, or even stretched out to 2 issues. No longer than that. And so very nicely drawn here. I don't know who this guy is. It's Daryl Doberman writer, Riccardo Federici as the artist. Very nicely done. And has a little bit of cannibalism there. It's cooking all these corpses around the fire, and the one person is toasting an ear. And we just see all this background. It's like the slasher. Walking with, he's got the knife in his hand and chasing the girl, all the tropes. And this story is called Gorehound, and the guy is chasing her through the woods. And you can see all the corpses in the motel or whatever it is. This is where Batman comes in, but then we get a little glimpse. Oh, what's this? The knife is, his hand is wrapped in tape with the knife in his hand, and chasing the girl, and then he's got a hood on his head, and it seems to be, what's going on? And Batman appears, sets up a trap. He's tripped up. Boom! There's the Batmobile, and there's Batman. Oh, great artwork. He rips off the hood. The guy's mouth is taped shut. I didn't do it. I said, no, I know. And he goes after the girl who was running away. She's found safety in a gas station bathroom, and suddenly, it's the Batman there. Show's over. And he's taking her to Gotham, Arkham Asylum. The girl who got away, she is Gorehound. She is the slasher serial killer of the story. Now, I like that story. I just think it would have been better had it been a longer story. Then we have a Wonder Woman story in Greece, Siren Song. Very nicely drawn. Victor Ibanez. And something's happening to some of the fishermen off this Greek island, and it turns out they're being drawn to their deaths by a siren. She fights and defeats the siren, but the siren is immortal. She can't kill her, and saves the last of the fishermen who was wooed away. But the siren pops up in Norway. Then we have a Guy Gardner, life sentence, vacationing on an alien planet. Something happening. He's called to duty, and it's a derelict prison ship heading for the planet will crash and demolish the planet, a good portion of the planet, and it's inhabited by zombie aliens. And it turns out it's all because of a Green Lantern who was on that ship and has died, but because of the power in his ring and his own will, has perverted his mission, and because of his death, and that's what animated the zombies and was powering the ship, etc. Now this is a good one. This is a demon 1853 in New Orleans, Louisiana. The story of the demon, very, very nicely drawn. Great for great style of art for horror, and it's yellow fever, I think it is, sweeping through the city, an epidemic, and people are trying to stay alive. This woman's husband, she's a servant at this house. He pops up. He's been gone for a while. There have been some murders and fires being set and horrible stuff. And it turned out, and her husband turns into the demon Etrigan. What? And it's called Yellow Jack. So she goes to see. She asks around and said. So she looks up Jason Blood. Says, "Can you help me? What's going on?" I said, "No, I'm not involved in that stuff anymore." But then more fires, more death. And he goes and confronts Etrigan, and he gets Etrigan back into the form of the man, takes him to where the man had actually gotten this. It turns out that Jason Blood had basically exorcised Etrigan from his body in a ceremony, but in the process accidentally putting him in this other man who he thought he was alone, but the man was there. So it takes us to the place, and again takes Etrigan back to himself, the demon, and saving the man and saving New Orleans from more horror. But in the process, while he's transformed into Etrigan, Etrigan kills the man and gets away. Horrifying. Then a Superman story. And in which he has dreams, weird dreams, and this spooky thing happening in his room at night. He almost destroys the place with his heat vision. Turns out it's basically a zoner from the Phantom Zone. Managing to just barely slip a little bit into the real world. And he manages to re-imprison him in the Phantom Zone. Then Green Arrow, it's basically a personal demon in his mind, going back to when he was on the island, when he was young. Then a Katana and Black Lightning teaming up story, and so they're teaming up in Japan to protect a little girl who is being haunted by a Japanese demon, and they take care of that one. Again, very, very nicely drawn. And then I like this one, Gotham City. It's Robin and Solomon Grundy, the devil you know. And Grundy is running around like a lunatic, but he's not really causing any damage or hurting people. Robin's right there trying to stop him, but then he's in tears. He's trying to find, he's not being bad. He's trying to find his girls. These were... And he keeps flashing back to this demon image who has zapped him and stuff, and took the girls. So he manages to get the story out of Grundy, because Grundy is not bright, and says it's a demon that came and stole the girls. But he's got at this location where he was saying these girls were homeless children, but they were helping Grundy, and Grundy was protecting them. They took the girls, and it turns out, he sees what it is, and it's Professor Pig, and in Grundy's befuddled, drug-addled, because he was drugged and zapped, and saw him as a demon, and it's Professor Pig, and he snatched the girls, and he's snatched all kinds of people, turning them into his own brand of zombies, the Dolotrons, and so they track him down. Grundy is too frightened because to go in, so Robin goes in alone, confronts him, and he gets immediately zapped, and they're going to try to turn him into Dolotron too. Then Grundy comes crashing in, and it's very Hulk-like, but of course Hulk is very much like Grundy. I don't say that the other way around, because Grundy goes back to the Golden Age, and he was very Hulk-like back then. He's just gotten more Hulk-like. Anyway, and Grundy takes the zapper rod and zaps Professor Pig. They save the girls and capture the bad guy. Then it concludes with the Haunted Hayride. It's a Halloween hayride featuring Zatanna. And she's here at this hayride, and sees this teenage boy bringing his little sister to the hayride. And then she realized his friends, while she goes to get tickets, she sees that his brother and his friend, they have scary masks, and they intend on scaring the little girl because they don't want to have to hang around with her for Halloween, and wants to scare her so she goes home so they can go out and do whatever mischief they're going to do. Zatanna hears that, and she kind of chews them out a little bit. Then she has a flashback to earlier with her own father after a show, and it's he wants to go hand out candy, and she said, "I want to do something." Blah blah blah. I said, "Oh, it's fine. Halloween, do what you want, but Halloween is about making things nice for the kids." So here we are back with the story at the hayride. She's got the tickets, and Zatanna gets on the hayride. Said no one else is coming, just us. And the hayride goes off by itself with them. And there's the two boys hiding in the corn maze, about ready to put on their masks, when the masks come alive and scare the crap right out of them. And meanwhile, she's kind of, the little girl is scared, and she's embarrassed to be scared. Said, "No, it's fine, it's fine." And Zatanna magically makes all the spooky stuff come alive, but friendly, like friendly ghosts, friendly jack-o'-lanterns, etc. And she is so thrilled and is having a good old time. And then her brother and his friend, who are terrorized, are are seeking help on the hayride. Help us, help us! So it's Halloween, gang, and that's fun. And it's a fun book with a nod to both horror and superheroes. But I think it really would have been nice if they had Cain and or Abel or some of the other horror hosts hosting this book. That would have been a big step up, if you ask me. So thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. Do leave your comments down below. Have you seen this before? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Whatever. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of the heroes and the horror mashup? Let me know about any of that. And remember, comics are art.